I'm David Hamburger, and in this lesson, we're going to talk about syncopation, the idea of using the way the rhythm of the melody falls over the bass to make the melody sound cooler. So what I'm doing right now is playing an alternating thumb on an E chord, playing the low string, and then picking second fret on the fourth string with my thumb on beats 1, 2, 3, 4. And so when you're playing in 4/4, or playing 1, 2, 3, 4, with the thumb spelling out the downbeats, what's happening in between are called the offbeats. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the strong beats are on 1, 2, 3, and 4. The offbeats, or the weak beats, are on all the ands. And syncopation is just the idea of putting weight or emphasis, or the melody note, on the offbeat. So if we start off with a melody that's on the beat, on beats 2, 3, and 4, like this, everything is not syncopated. You've got a series of pinches where you're playing a finger with the thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if we take that first note and we move it up to the end of 1, instead of playing it on 2, then we have 1 and 2. And then we can keep going and play the notes on beats 3 and 4 as usual. And that gives us this: 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. And we could move up the next two notes as well, so that now instead of playing on beats 2, 3, and 4, we're playing on the and 1. We're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and, or thinking, and 2 and 3 and 4, leading into the next beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're always coming in ahead of where we were going to be coming in. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you can feel that it's now the melody is kind of leading you into the next bass note. So that's the feeling of syncopation. And you don't have to use it on everything. In fact, it's often best when you use it some of the time. So let's take something a little more complicated. Let's take, right, so 1, 2, and 3, 4. So now we have a note that's on an and. We have 1, 2, and 3, 4. So this note that comes on the and of 2, 1, 2, and, is the only note we're not playing with a pinch right now. 1, pinch, and pinch, pinch. So nothing's really syncopated yet, because if we just sat and played a whole series of eighth notes where we played 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you hear those notes on the and as just kind of filling in, not as having emphasis of their own. Not like when you play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if we take this phrase, we could anticipate the first note and put it on the and of 1, 1 and 2. And now we still have a note on the and, right? Because that's what we had before, 1, 2, and. But we're moving up the first note of those two, 1 and 2, and. And now that note does sound syncopated, that second note on the and. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So that makes a bit of a difference. And then we can take that whole phrase and we can add another bar on where we land on the 1 with a final note. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. So again, if we sort of straightened it back out, we'd have 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1. But we're going to have that syncopation on the first couple notes. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. So what we can do now is start syncopating on the back end. So we could have 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1. We could take those notes on the fourth beat and then the first beat of the next measure and move those up. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So now the front we're still playing pretty straightforward, but the back we're syncopating. And then we could go ahead and syncopate the front end as well. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So notice that now everything's on the offbeat except beat 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. And it's having that moment where you do actually play on the downbeat that kind of gives everything else something to kind of bounce off of. You have to have some context for the syncopation. If everything's syncopated, it doesn't sound as effective as if even most of it is syncopated. And of course, the thumb is still solid, so that also gives us something for the syncopation to play off of. So when we have this, now we can add some more melody notes. So we can take the first note and the third note and add this G note. So the right hand's doing the exact same rhythm, but just by fretting the third fret on the high string on the first and third melody note, now we have the melody to Baby Please Don't Go. And so instead of playing the melody really straightforward like this, we have this more swinging version with all the syncopation. Follow through with the rest of the melody. So that's how to take the basic coordination of the thumb and fingers and look at moving the melody forward on purpose to create syncopation and to create a melody that swings more and sounds more musical. So if you're interested in more lessons on fingerstyle blues guitar, you can go to my website, fretboardconfidential.com, and I'll see you next time.